Before early agriculture, humans were hunter-gatherers. But the foraging culture didn't stop. One 74-year-old vegan is showing New Yorkers that you don't have to travel that far to find edible plants and mushrooms. Some are in your own backyard.
Okay, here's the first plant we're looking at. Everyone take one. If you can get the root out, all the better, because the root is edible too.
Meet New York City's Wildman, the self-taught educator actively foraging in your parks.
Queens, Brooklyn, Westchester, Connecticut, Long Island.
The Wildman Steve Brill. I have to ask, why forage?
Wild foods are incredibly delicious. They are very nutritious as well. From a culinary point of view, they're pretty unexplored and they're totally renewable. What do you think of the flavor of the leaves? Any comment? Yes, garlicky. The plant is called garlic mustard. Here are the chips. Yeah, left to cook. And you can't get better ingredients to cook with than all this stuff.
Yeah, thank you. Some folks don't understand foraging. What are some misconceptions that you find?
I guess people are afraid of poisoning themselves, and they should be if you do eat the wrong thing. So you have to identify everything with 100% certainty. People think that you have to go out into the country to forage. Look at this. This would be like Donald Trump's nose if you were Pinocchio. That is not true. There's actually more in Central Park than out in the woods. We have sunny open areas, we have wet areas, we have wooded areas, and we have stuff from around the world.
A lot of people are dying to know, are we allowed to forage stuff in the park?
You have to look for the undercover agents.
Well, Brill was only sort of kidding. He was actually arrested for eating a dandelion in Central Park.
He looks like a nice, gentle sort of fellow, doesn't he? Now the Parks Department thinks so, or otherwise they wouldn't have hired him. But last March, he was nothing more to them than a common criminal.
4 p.m., March 29th, 1986, we had undercover agents on my tour. They were plants, but not the kind I was looking for. I got charged with criminal mischief for removing vegetation from the park because I ate the dandelion, after which the city turned over a new leaf. They dropped the charges and hired me to lead the same tours I was leading when I was arrested.
I want to present a program that will be like a model for park departments all over the country. Vitamin A and more protein.
And then you add wine and tomorrow.
Brill led foraging tours for 4 years under the New York City Parks Department. Now, with over 40 years of experience, he hosts private tours on the weekends. Beginners welcome.
And what do you say to someone who's interested in foraging but not quite sure how? They're a beginner, want to be interested.
Well, you learn the things that are the easiest to recognize, and you have to be 100% sure before you eat anything. And then you start off very slowly. You have a few bites the first time, and then you eat more the second time, just in case of allergies or idiosyncratic bad reactions. And fortunately, in 41 years of doing tours, we only had one death on all the tours. Yeah, it was in Prospect Park. We were picking a plant called field garlic. I warned everyone, don't pick Star of Bethlehem. 5 minutes later, someone was putting the toxic plant in her bag. I stopped her before she could eat any of it, but it was too late. She still succumbed. She died of embarrassment. Very tasty. This is late spring, early summer. The gateway drug into conservation. They learn to identify and use plants, become more comfortable in the environment, work for a more sustainable planet.
In Central Park, I'm Linda Gaudino, News 4 New York.
With these broad leaves, and it's in the